Hi, welcome to Raj GPRC and Raj Pharma eLearning. Today we are going to learn about good documentation practice, which is a very important topic when you are working in pharmaceutical, nutraceutical, medical devices or any other industry. Because documentation plays an important role in industry and in our day-to-day life. Even if you want to, make your passport, that is an important document. Even if you want to file a return, that is an important document. So when you take care of your personal things, think about the activities which is performed day in day night while working in the industry. So good documentation practice means do what you say what you do. Do what you say what you do, but prove what you did and what you said, right? So unless and until you record it, whatever you must be doing in your day-to-day life while working in industry, you have to record it. So like GMP, GDP is equally important. GMP means good manufacturing practices. GDP is a good documentation practices. But GDP is commonly used as an abbreviation for good distribution practices as well, and the good documentation practices. So we are proud to train, 30,000 employees or the professional in pharma industry. During last 13 years, we have completed 13 successful years, and we are really proud. When there was a the Skill India concept was not there. That during those years, like in 2009, 2010, we have started the skilling programs, and we have skilled so many professionals in various areas like regulatory affairs, quality assurance, quality chemist, R&D, production, pharmacovigilance, pharma documentation, pharma management, then CTD hands-on training, and so on. So we offer various courses and technical skills to improve the skills in all respect whenever you are working in industry. So coming to today's topic, I'm going to share my screen now. So we will talk about the good documentation practices. And if you see, all the content is available freely on net. If you Google, you will find n number of articles, documents, guidances from where you can find such kind of information. So we have also gathered all the information, and the references are acknowledged. So while walking through these slides for the good documentation practice, uh, in this particular section, I will be talking about I will giving a brief idea about the good documentation practice. But when you attend our main course, main course in either regulatory affairs, quality assurance, or good documentation practice, you will get in detail information. So this is just a gist of good documentation practice, in which we have covered all the topics in details, right from the aim and purpose, golden rules, characteristic of document, why good documentation is required, who must follow good documentation practices, types of documentation, USP General Chapter 1029, what does it say in GDP, EU GMP Chapter 4, that is GMP requirement for documentation, data integrity, which is again a hot topic, record, data writing, how the mistakes are corrected, how the human errors are avoided. So all these will be considered while teaching you in depth, okay? And when you join our course, the certificate course for 3 months, 4 months, in that several other topics are considered, which will be used in your day-to-day life. So let us have a look of the good documentation practices. So commonly GDP is abbreviated as GDOCP or GDP. But we recommend to abbreviate as GDOCP because it has to distinguish from the good distribution practices, so that we avoid the duplication of abbreviation used in the industry. So GDP or the GDP is a term in the pharmaceutical industry that describes the standards by which documents are created and maintained. Okay, because many people, they just create the document and forget about it. But how it is maintained, how it is archived, how it has to be retrieved, that is equally important. You might have heard about the track and trace system, which is equally important. Then when we call the product recall, okay, during that time also it becomes very important to track each and every component of the product when you manufacture, when the batch is released, the batch is packed and sold out in the market. So how it becomes easy to recall all those batches from the market, it depends on how how excellently you have maintained the track and trace system and how you build the documentation around the system. So once you build your good documentation system in your company, sky is the limit for you. So the practice become your habit become your attitude, and that is why the all the practices are important, not only GDP, GCP, GLP, GMP, everything is important, and together with all these GMP, GLP, GDP, GCP, it is called a GXP. So documentation control, this is not an optional, okay? It is a legal requirement. So one has to understand we have to follow laws, rules, and regulations, right? So documentation control is a legal requirement and it is mandatory. So records and reports along with procedures tell the story of manufactured products and devices. So whenever you manufacture your product, simple, the paracetamol tablets, or in the medical devices, insulin pen. So whatever you are going to manufacture, the manufacturing process, has to be described in such a way that the reviewer or the reader will understand the process. Okay, and when you are going to manufacture that product, so batch packing records, that becomes your records or the report, correct? That has to be also understood by the auditor or the reader or the third party. So the documentation control or the documentation writing, the author, the reviewer, the approver, plays an important role in this entire process of document control. So good documentation practices ensure the integrity and reliability of data. And the good data and record management practices, that is GDRP, during inspection of GMP, GCP, GLP has been increasing. You might have seen from 2014-15 onwards, lots of data integrity issues, the human error, the compliance issues, are happening, and many companies have closed. Many big companies have closed due to this data integrity issues. And that's why the good data and the record management practices become very important. And each and every company is investing, in the training and maintaining records properly. And they are making, lots of they are going forward with the electronic data management system and the digital system. You might have heard about the LMS, the learning management system, then the LIMS, EDMS, Empower, all these things, captured electronically. So that becomes easy for any reviewer or the regulator to review your data at a single click button. In regulatory affairs also, you might have heard about all the submissions are happening through eCTD. eCTD is an electronic common technical document, and the ESG, so electronic secured gateway. So all the dossiers are compiled in eCTD format, hyperlink, bookmark, the entire submission is validated and uploaded through ESG gateway. So that becomes easier for the reviewer sitting at either US FDA, Europe, Canada, whichever health authority you may select. It becomes easier for them to review at a single click button. And each document is hyperlinked, right? So bookmark. So these all things becomes very important when we talk about the electronic document. So the paper records to electronic for the pharmaceutical companies, then the electronic signatures and the electronic records. These are the important parameters which you have to consider. So you can see this round circle, the right from the policies, standards, training, classification, retention, documentation, everything, it is called as data management. So how you manage your data in your day-to-day life, right from creation, access, usage, storage, sharing, integrity, destruction, you have to maintain it properly. Okay. Even if you distribute any kind of, the control copy or the uncontrolled copy, it has to be recorded in your distribution record. So data management again, and existing, it has to be build a document management system, robust document management system, like we follow the robust quality management system, right? So GDP aim to ensure globally accepted standards are met in record keeping and reporting. And GDP describes standards and best practices on how to record data, information, observations, and events, create, maintain, and archive documents. Right? So it is considered to be part of current manufacturing practices, that is GMP. So what is the aim and purpose of good documentation practices? The GDP standard relate to the data accuracy, data integrity, validation, reporting, record keeping timelines, legibility, and tracing. Right? So what is the golden rule? Golden rule is what? If it is not written down, it did not happen. Like I said earlier, do what you say what you do. Do what you say what you do, but prove what you do and what you say. That is a golden rule. So data integrity, good practices, good science, good business gives the good business. All right. So everything, rolls around what? Good documentation practices and how you manage your data wisely, smartly. So why there is a need of good documentation practices? See, everything will be taught to you in the detailed course curriculum. Okay, I'm just giving a gist of GDP. Okay, the detailed explanation will be followed in the actual course when you will be studying with Raj Pharma eLearning. So what is being made? Most of us, when attempting a task, need some sort of documentation. Am I right? Even a picture, if you are drawing for a board or the sitting arrangement, right? If you make a wrong drawing, what will happen? Right? Think about it. Think how exactly you make the drawing so that similar product will be manufactured. So in our manufacturing process also, you have to draw a flow chart step by step. Step one, sieving of excipients, say for example, weighing, sievings or the sifting, then granulation, so wet granulation, then compression, then packaging. Say for example, if you are going to manufacture a tablet, so these are the steps. So you have to show nicely through the flow chart. So flowchart becomes a very important and it is easy to understand by a supervisor, by the workers working in the production area, right? And that is how you represent, how you make your work instruction appropriately with all the steps and the representation, the diagrammatic representation, it becomes very easy to understand for others. Again, why good documentation practice? The basic foundation of a quality system is to ensure the following throughout the lifetime of the product. Proper documentation should be correct, should be complete, should be current, consistent, right? So adequacy of integrity, traceability, control, and retention. What I mean to say here, The basic foundation of your quality system has to ensure that whatever document you are making should be proper documentation, right? It should be correct, complete, current, and consistent. Current means what? It should state the issue date, review date, right? The revision. Always refer to the current revision. Okay. So this is just an example I have given here. You can see the right hand side, the standard operating procedure, right? The SOP. So whenever we start any task, the SOP has to be read and understood. Correct? So each document shall have the clear title, identification number, the document number, okay? And it has to be approved by the some authorized person. It has to be signed and dated, right? So the date of issue, date of revision, list to whom it has been issued. Very important. So apart from the format like pagination, header, footer, left margin, right margin, the body text, so these things are important, correct? The document number, that is identification number, date of issue, revision date, extremely important. Right? Then who must follow, right? Who must follow good documentation practice? Everyone, right? All personnel dealing with regulated materials, all activities related to the manufacturing of regulated materials, right? When they are holding, they are storing, during transportation, during manufacturing, during testing, during support, packing, labeling. At every stage, all personnel involved, right, to handle that material, to handle that production, storekeeper, transporter, everyone is responsible, you know, who are dealing with this area and the document generated in the respective area. So what are the types of documents? If you see the triangle or the pyramid, you can see. So it starts always with the quality manual, which is called level 1 document, right? Which is one document. You can see the pyramid. So level 1 is quality manual. Then level 2, the quality policies, the company policies, the quality objectives. Okay, then it grows. So it expands the pyramid. If you see, it expands. So how it expands? The quality manual, level 1, quality policies, quality objectives, and then it comes to level 3, SOPs, all SOPs. And then level 4, the records, the test method, specification, validation, stability, everything comes under the record. So if you see the pyramid, the lots of records and test method specification, lots of data is generated. That is why it fits into the bottom of the pyramid. So you have to understand level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, how it goes. So hierarchy of this document system, once it is understood, it is mentioned in the ISO standard also. And one has to maintain this type of hierarchy for the different types of documents. So types of documentation you might have seen, your GMP starts from your main gate, right? The building, premises, equipment, the installation, validation, cleaning and maintenance, then the personal training, hygiene, housekeeping, material. So we have to have specification for each and every material, testing procedure, warehousing, rejection, disposal, processing, individual step in the process of manufacturing, finished goods specification, testing, storage, distribution, rejection, disposal, complaints and recalls, how you recall the product, how the investigation happens, what the actions are taken, the CAPA, corrective action, preventive action, everything becomes a document, right? So these are the different types of document which you have to maintain nicely, along with, of course, the quality manual, policies, SOP, batch numbering record, VMR, VPR, then the specification. So each department, so there are several departments, QC, QA, R&D, formulation, the analytical, stores, production, maintenance, engineering. There are so many departments exist in one pharmaceutical industry, and several types of documents are generated, right? Right from the when you install your equipment or the machinery, you should have that DQ, IQ, OQ, PQ, right? So the installation qualification and performance qualification become important documents while auditing. Then you are manufacturing the batches, the batch formula become important. So master batch formula and their instructions. Then the logbooks while operation, you maintain the logbook, what time it has started, who has started, then maintenance, calibration. Each equipment is calibrated, the calibration due date record is maintained. Then the stock control distribution record. Nowadays, SAP, ERP is there, so inventory management, the supply chain management is controlled through the SAP. But if it is not there manually, you have to control. So documents, records become extremely important when you are working in pharma, medical device, or any type of industry. Okay, and the time and the manufacturing side, people, processes, these four factors are extremely important when we talk about the document and the record maintenance. So that's all overview of the good documentation practice. But if you want to learn more in details for each and every parameters, then data integrity, how to avoid human error, how actually the quality management system have to be established, the robust quality management system established, we will learn when you join our course. Thank you. If you have any doubt, you can contact us or you can write an email at rajgprac@gmail.com. You can refer to our website www.rajpharmaelearning.com. Thank you very much for your kind attention.